that into prayer this morning. And so just in knowing that it really is, it's all God. And in knowing this, we just come back to what that God means to us in our own perspective, knowing that all that God is so much bigger than our little minds can even grasp, that it's a universal presence, and it's a universal presence of good. And I align myself with that good and with that truth, that I know that it's all unfolding absolutely perfectly in the right time, at the right moment, for my highest good. And I know that it's unfolding also for the highest good of everyone, for our world, for our country, for each other. And I just breathe into that peace, knowing that it's really all good. And so in knowing that, in today's meditation, that we have this opportunity to just sit and be still. And we notice what's in the gaps, because our thoughts are always coming in and out. But it's in those gaps, in the moments of silence, that the truth can be heard and felt. And so just in the beginning of this week, it's Monday, like my husband says, it's April 74th. And knowing that we're all in this together. It's not like we never were, that our minds are connected, that our hearts are connected, that our souls are connected in this universal presence. And so in great gratitude for that knowing, I just allow it to be. I let go, which is the big one. Let go and let God. And so it is. And so, as I said, I've been really thinking so much about where we are in this space and time right now. And I'm sure all of you have been too. It is definitely, like I said, a time that we've never been in before, but that we do know. So this is from Iyanla Vanzant, who I consider pop spirituality, kind of. It's not Ernest Holmes. It's not any of our really teachers and philosophers that we know so much. This is pop, but I feel like what we're going through a lot is cultural, pop culture. So this is called, it's about stress. You know, everything will turn out just fine. Even if it doesn't feel like it right now, you know, this too shall pass. The question then becomes, what do you do in the meantime? How do you wait in peace and faith? Well, did you breathe? Go ahead. Take a few long, deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, making the sound ah. That sound represents the name of God. That's your power. Don't forget to use it. Go ahead, breathe. Did you pray? Did you confess from your heart to God what you were thinking, feeling, wanting right now? You know that prayer can get into places you can't. Prayer changes things. Even better, prayer changes people, and people change things. So go ahead and pray. Have you surrendered? Have you given up your way to the will and the way of spirit? Are you willing to give up control, realizing that whatever you want is probably far less than spirit will do once you get out of the way? If you are not breathing, if you haven't prayed, if you are not willing to surrender, it's no wonder you're experiencing stress. Anyway, so just taking those words in. And she is, like I said, she's a more of a pop spiritualist. And her book is about lessons on the journey to peace. And so today in this morning's meditation, let's just focus on that peace. And we can focus on those words about breathing, number one, which is what we do in meditation. We come back to our breath. Number two is to pray. And generally, sometimes I pray through my meditations. That those thoughts that come in and you send them out in a positive, knowing way. And then just letting it go, just surrendering to that power that is within us and that power and presence that is around us. So let's just get comfortable in our chairs. I've done this many, 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 many times. We know how to do this. We get comfortable. We start to focus on our breath. We feel our feet on the floor. We begin to relax. Keep our hands open so that we can receive. Because that's what we're doing here in meditation. We're listening. We're receiving. So we keep our hands open to be receptive. And we just allow our minds to follow our breath for a little while, just in mindfulness, just to let go of whatever is going on the outside, detach from that, just for these several minutes. Actually, we have a little while to do this. And we just allow what comes in, watching those thoughts come and go, and remembering that place, that gap, that we let the thoughts about the grocery list or being alone or whatever it is that we're experiencing today. And just look at those gaps. That's where we listen. We listen to the mind of God that comes into our experience when we meditate. So we really do have about 15 minutes to do this. So let's all take a deep breath. Whew. And like I said, just say that as you let it out, expanding your lungs, which is so important right now. Just expanding your lungs and letting it out with an knowing that is God, the I am. So in knowing that, we move deeper into our meditation this morning. And so as it is time for our meditation this morning to come to an end, we can just remember that we have 3 practices that we can use throughout our lives, really. And that is, number 1 is just to breathe and allow ourselves to connect to that universal presence. Prayer, which does exactly the same in a different form, and letting go. So I've been thinking a lot about the serenity prayer, and that's how we'll end our meditation today. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.